While I'm in Hong Kong, we're going to be driving back and forth between mainland and the island of Hong Kong, doing like 3 or 4 trade shows back to back. I wanted to talk to you guys about 3 things that I believe are really important about doing business, the 3 pillars of business as I like to call them. But Kenny, do you think it's better if we do this out in the apartment?
Ready for departure, so you're going to have 40 minutes with a list you reach a cruising out.
We're back in the apartment. 3 fundamental things you need to do to build your business. I get DM'd this question probably more than any other question that people ask me. What are some things I can do to build a business? And for your business to have success, you at least need to have 2 of these things. I kind of call them sort of like pillars of your business. I kind of, in my head, imagine them in sort of a triangle. Ideally, you'd like to have all 3, but at a minimum, you need to at least have 2 of these. The way you should think about them is, how can I have a competitive advantage over everyone else that's doing the same idea or that's doing a similar business? What is it that I can do using these 3 pillars, these ideas? What can I do to make my product better than everyone else? So pillar number 1 is supply chain. So supply chain is very important, the way you produce a product. In order for you to have some leverage over the rest of the market, having your supply chain under control or having the manufacturing process under control gives you a greater sort of advantage over other businesses. For Ties.com, for instance, we produce men's accessories. So we do everything from socks to any sort of like men's accoutrements that you think that you need. The production process isn't very unique, but what we've done in the production process is very, very unique. We really honed in on controlling our supply chain. We have our own manufacturing facilities overseas. It allows us to do 3 things. Product deliverability gives us greater control over the quality, gives us greater control over production timelines. And so that, in my opinion, gives us a greater degree of control over the marketplace, because it gives us the ability to say, hey, our product is much better than everyone else's because we have this one thing over everyone else. Pillar number 2, marketing advantage. You have to be better than the average person that's in your space or in your industry that does marketing better than everyone else. That might mean that you're really good at Facebook ads. That might mean that you're really good at Google ads. That may mean you're really good at influencer marketing. Whatever that is, you have to have an edge over everyone else in order for you to be able to compete against everyone. And that insight is what's going to deliver higher value to your bottom line than it will for everyone else. In terms of marketing, the one thing that we did that has set us above everyone else is SEO. So we started SEO 9 years ago. If you Google how to tie a tie, we rank number 0, 1, 2, and sometimes 3. So for us, that means even for the search 0, that's something like 650 to almost 800 searches that come directly to us. So to us, that's what gives us the advantage that no one else that's going to have an easy time duplicating it. And so again, you're, as an investor, as somebody who's building businesses, and for you, these are the kinds of things you want to look for. Okay, well, what advantages do I have? Pillar number 3, market or product fit. Product fit itself and the product as it pertains to the market. Sometimes that means you're first to market. That's not necessarily the end all be all, because Uber wasn't first to market. Google wasn't first to market. Facebook wasn't first to market. Market fit is really, really important for your product. So market fit has a lot to do with when you're entering it. It also has a lot to do with timing itself. And that's sort of like the sort of hidden secret when it comes to building a business. Nobody really knows when the proper time is to enter into space, or whether or not time is going to be against you. When we did socks, we weren't first to market, we weren't second to market, but we made the product, our socks, so unique. It has its own place in the category because we compete against much bigger guys. But our Allen socks do really, really well because we have in-house designers, and these designers execute exactly the sort of vision that we have as a creative team. And that in itself gives us this sort of advantage that not a lot of other people have. You don't have to be the first to market. You don't have to have a product like, oh, like everybody else is doing it, how do I compete against this? It's just, what is the uniqueness that you bring in the marketplace? Because if you have the value, if you bring the value, then people are willing to pay for it. Ideally, you'd like to have the 3 pillars of the triangle at the same time, but the truth is you don't necessarily need all 3. At the very least, need 2 of those things to succeed. So whether you really know your supply chain really well and you do marketing really well, or whether it's marketing and the market fit, whatever that might be, you need to figure out which one of these things you're really, really good at before you decide to say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, or hey, I want to enter into this space. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't launch a business and learn these things. I get so many DMs from people who say, hey, can you give me some advice on launching my business? This is the advice. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, do you want to invest in my business? These are the kinds of things I ask for. Whether or not they have an understanding of their marketplace, whether or not they have an understanding of the marketing it takes, and whether or not they have an understanding of what it costs for them to develop their product and bring their product to market. All right, is that it? We got everything? If you guys like that, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. What time is it now? We gotta get out of here. So it's fucking late, we gotta get out of here. Let's go. Now I gotta go back to China.
Surely we'll be ready for launches or mobile phone.
For the record, this cheesy bit is not my idea. I just want to be clear about this. All right, so it's gonna work.